Chris and Drew, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on day one. We're going to go straight into questions. Once again, please state your name and affiliation. We'll start off tonight with Anthony Como.
Hey guys, Anthony DeComo, MLB.com. I guess we'll start obviously with Voit. What do you like about him specifically at 38 there?
Yeah, we're thrilled. Mitch was still on the board there. Explosive, athletic. We believe he stays on the dirt and excels at multiple infield positions there, but the bat really stood out. He made a lot of strides, this being his first year to focus on hitting. The plate discipline improved, the contact and the ability to impact. It's a short, compact, explosive swing. He can impact the ball. We really think he can affect the game in numerous ways. It's a plus run tool. So when you're scouting him, you sit there and you start to check all the boxes. He checked them all. So ecstatic to get him there at 38.
We talked to him a little while ago, and he seems very polished for his age. What is your take on him, just makeup wise?
Yeah, we did a lot of work on him. We identified him early. It's an impressive family. He's got a brother that's in the military, another one working on our doctorate. So it's a polished family. He's an impressive kid, very smart, handled himself well at Michigan, and every source that we reached out to absolutely raved about this kid. Just saying elite makeup, every source, it started adding up. And we met with him at the combine, and it was a great meeting. Very calm, collected kid, well spoken. We're excited to get him and think he'll fit well in New York.
And then I'll just ask you real quick, Jimenez, same question. What did you like about him there at 102?
Yeah, Jimenez, he was a real exciting player. We think he has a chance to stay a shortstop, chance to be above average defender. He has a couple pluses, plus power, raw power, plus arm strength. He really improved offensively this year, made a ton of improvements making contact, and had a really good year overall.
Thanks, guys.
Andrew?
Hi guys, Andrew with NorthJersey.com. With Mitch, how valuable is that versatility? Just what he was able to do at Michigan, playing numerous different positions. How do you kind of assess that that value that he brings, having already done that in college?
Yeah, it's a plus to be able to move a guy around the field, keep his bat in the lineup more often in the minor league schedule as he works his way through the major leagues. We do, in the long run, believe he's an infielder and we'll have some options on the infield to play. But the athlete, the hands, he's got a big arm. He used to be 95, 96 off the mound. So I think he presents a lot of options, and we're definitely going to explore those.
How do you just assess the need versus taking the best player available? What's kind of your vision with that?
In baseball, there's a long way to get to the major leagues. We're always looking for the best player available, and we had numerous options to work through at 38. We saw a lot of players go off the board. For Mitch to still be there, he was the best player we had on our board, and we were ecstatic to get him.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mark, you're free.
Thank you. And thanks, guys, for doing this. Got a big picture question for you guys. This year, just with the lower pool for you guys and with the penalties from obviously last year, just was this a bigger challenge than most years?
Yeah, I mean, the pool money plays a role in every decision, and obviously the pick location. So in any draft, you're looking to extract as much talent as you can from the draft, and we're looking to get creative. And tomorrow we'll continue to explore different avenues, different player demographics to capitalize on where we're at.
Tony?
Just to follow up on that from me, as you're going through this first day of the draft and you're waiting for your pick of 38, I know, Chris, you talked last week about having to cast a little bit of a wide net in terms of players, not knowing who's necessarily going to be there. Just what is that process like as you're in the war room and maybe some guys you're looking at get ticked off, maybe some are still there. Just what is that sort of like as you're wading through the possibilities as you get closer and closer to 38?
It was a long 3 hours, not gonna lie. We saw some talent go off the board, but I mean, it's a draft. We've been through this before. We've experienced it. As you get closer to your pick, you kind of make a plan A, B, C, and D, and see where it takes you. But you're constantly evaluating the market, what might be left, and making the best decision you possibly can.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Kris and Drew, thanks a lot for joining us for the day two of the New York Mets Draft Zoom. We're going to jump straight into questions. We'll start off with Anthony DeComo from MLB.com.
Hey guys, obviously a ton of pitching today. I know, like all teams, it's best available for you guys, but what can a day like this do for just sort of infusing an organization with, that much pitching?
Yeah, and excited to get a mix of the high school pitching along with the college pitching. I think we were fortunate enough to take a blend of big projection high school righties with some fastballs and some plus secondary options, and then some college guys with some electricity in their arms. So thought it was a nice blend. Obviously didn't go into the day factoring a majority of pitching, but sometimes that's how it works out. And excited about the crop we were able to grab.
I wanted to ask you specifically about Prescott and Hall, two guys who obviously had elbow surgeries. What's the risk reward factor when taking guys like that, especially relatively high in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, there's always some risk with anybody that has surgery, but if they bounce back, return to form, what they were doing prior to the surgery was very enticing. And who knows, maybe they go a little higher in the draft if they were fully healthy. But we thought the risk for those guys, the mid 90 to upper 90s fastball that they shows with the electricity of the breaking balls. Prescott's got a unique splitter that we really like. So excited about grabbing those two guys in the middle rounds.
But just one more for me, and then I'll let some others ask. But the Westchester kid for Bozy, I guess scouting in your backyard a little bit, being the Mets. But what did you like about him, and how did that scouting process go?
Yeah, super athletic kid, chance to stay on the dirt at shortstop. Real toolsy, plush runner, can really throw, and we like the swing, fluid swing, and so we think it's some huge upside, and it just all checked out. We like the family and local kid that we're excited about.
Wasn't
Thanks,
an
guys.
easy guy to see with all the precipitation in the New York area this spring, but we were able to make it over there a few times, and always nice to get a home game, and he was impressive.
Well, it's raining biblically here right now, so
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Roger?
Guys, I was sort of wondering about there's a financial component with the draft, and do you think that in some way a guy who has had the surgery on his a pitcher who's had the surgery might end up being something that better fits into the budget? Is that a factor at all?
It You never know. Each guy is a case by case basis, so it really depends on the year when it might have happened, the player's future situation, whether he's in high school or college. So there's a lot of factors that go in play. I wouldn't say every time it's a Tommy John or a guy that had surgery recently, like necessarily you're getting a discount.
The other thing I was going to ask is, with regard to the surgeries that are performed on these pitchers, um, do you sort of feel like the advancements in the surgery and the way that guys have started to come back over the last, 5 to 10 years has made a guy who had a surgery much more appealing than he might have been a handful of years ago?
I think they're all risky. Like every injury, those all those injuries are risky. So obviously we're taking a chance and hoping that the player comes back, to the form, especially with Prescott and Hall. Before they got hurt, they were like Kris says, electric stuff, that we really liked. And you're hoping that they come back to form. So, yeah, it's always a risk, and we take that all into consideration when we're taking the player.
Thank you.
Bridget?
Hey guys, just pivoting back to your first round selection of Mitch. Just curious about he had a third base chalk celebration in March that went viral, and just kind of wanted to hear in looking at him for the draft, like, was this something that you had to discuss with him about, like, or address, and what about this was not really that concerning to you, or what convinced you of that?
Yes, it was addressed. We spoke to him early in the spring and then at the combine about it. And basically, he's a young guy. It's a heat of passion. It's a big game. He made a big play for his team and made a mistake, and he's made an apology for it, and owned up to it, handled it with class. And we did a ton of research after the fact with multiple sources about his makeup. We know this isn't an issue, and we feel comfortable about moving forward with Mitch moving forward.
Thank you.
Any other additional? Back to Tony?
Just two more from me. The first pick today, Toussaint, it's been, I know you, Kris, you haven't been around for more than a year and a half, but it's been quite a few years since the Mets have taken a high school pitcher even that high in the fourth round. What is the risk reward of doing so, and what did you like specifically about him?
Yeah, Peter was very interesting because he's a real big body guy, throws hard, throws strikes, and then he has a really good slider that every guy that we sent in to see him was raving about during the situation. I don't think it was ever like a strategy to like go away from high school pitching. It's just how the draft falls. When you're picking, if the high school pitcher is there and the deal's willing to be made, then you take the high school pitcher still. But and this kid was willing. He wanted to go out and play for us. So we're excited to have him.
And then just curious, for either of you guys, any late rounds picks? I guess what would have been day three picks in the past, did any of those guys stick out to you as particularly interesting?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited about them, really excited about them all. We have exciting guys like James Smith, who's mostly a position player. One of our area scout did a really good job of scouting him. He didn't throw a lot of innings this year, but it was really exciting. He got hurt, and we were one of the teams that were able to see him and capitalize on his talent. So we're really excited about that one.
Obviously, it was mostly arms, blend of guys with starter track record, guys with big stuff coming out of the bullpen in college, some athletes that haven't pitched a lot, like you touched on with James, and then our guy Sam Robinson, extremely fast JUCO player that can do some things at shortstop and with the bat. So a little blend of everything, pitcher heavy, but we're excited about the players we got.
James Smith, you see him as you're going to develop him as a pitcher?
Correct.
Yes.